There is a theory that reality is a simulation. That in order to win the game, we must wake up, break free from the matrix, and begin to create our own outcome. The reality is, we don't know for sure. But we do know that each day we wake up. We go through our routine. We play a character that we've chosen to play. And for many of us, it does not feel authentic. Often it starts to feel like a trap, going through the same routine day after day, playing that role. Yet every day we do have a choice when we wake up and we plug into this game. We do get to select the character. We do get to choose our moves each day. Yet how many of us repeat the same moves from the day before, the same thought processes from the day before, even though it may not be serving us? How many times do we see clearly certain moves are not getting us to where we want to be, yet we keep repeating them day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year? Thoughts that lead us to downward spirals, relationships that drain our energy. We see the things that actually make us feel good, yet how often do we not choose them? How often do we say, tomorrow I'll exercise? Or it's one cookie, it's one drink. I know he's not good for me, but I can handle it. I'm just having fun. I once played a game. It was all-encompassing. It basically was a simulation. You came into the game and you built your territory. And the people who knew how to play the game well, they quickly built multiple territories around each other. Territories that were considered farms. Some farms grew wheat or metal because they understood the math, the rules of the game. The more resources you had, the faster you were going to grow. Now, in this game, it was actually pretty crazy. It was basically a simulation, because in order to play it, you had to invest a lot of time, a lot of money. You had to politically get involved with other characters in the game, and these other characters were played by real people all around the world. And it got so intense that we actually had an outside app where we would plan the wars, where we would negotiate, where we would try to get other alliances on our side. When you were destroyed in that game, you literally lost all of your time invested, all of the money invested. And I know players who invested upwards of $10,000 in this game in less than a year, because you emotionally felt connected to the people that you were playing with. You would do things that normally you would not do for a video game. You would spend hours strategizing. I remember one day they merged regions and we had to defend a city. Now, it wasn't a real city, it was a computerized city. Yet the stress and the anxiety of 12 hours porting in and out of a city trying to defend it was very real. We were playing someone else's simulation, yet the relationships were real. The emotions were real. The impact it had on people's lives was real. feel like whether we are actually in a simulation or not, there are many, many programs in our society. Republican, Democrat, conspiracy theorist, mean girl, race wars, nerd, genius. And we are programmed to know how those people in this society are meant to act and think and believe. We are programmed as to what a good Christian does, what a good Catholic does, what a good Muslim does. And so often, we don't take the time to stop and think if we are actually creating a world that we want to live in, or are we just continuing to perpetuate the world we were born into? And maybe it's not such a bad idea to approach this world as a game, as a simulation, to not take it quite so seriously, to not take what people think about us quite so seriously, to believe we can take risks, to believe that we can create our vision of a world. If we are eternal beings that have lived life after life after life after life, then even if we live 100 years in this simulation, it's a blink of an eye. It's a blink of an eye, and that makes it so much easier to maybe not take it quite so seriously, to maybe not be so hell-bent on fitting in, on following the masses, on being a sheep. Maybe we don't need to be afraid to be different. Maybe we don't need to think that if you look a certain way, then you're a certain type of person. If your skin's a certain color, then you're a certain type of person. If you have a certain sexual orientation, then you're a certain type of person. So, if this is a game, if this is a simulation, what is the strategy? The best strategy? Well, first, what brings you joy? When you look back at your life, what are the moments that truly felt good? Not good because you were better than someone else. Not good because you won, because that is fleeting. You can win 1 minute and lose the next. If you are better than someone, then certainly you are worse than someone else. But what moment did you feel peace, acceptance, love, bliss? Are you able to let go of the definitions? The definitions that make you afraid, the definitions that make you think you have to control it. Those resistant energies that cause us to create slowly, that cause us to doubt ourselves, that cause us to need someone else to rescue us. Can you have fun with it? The second strategy is to recognize you have one controller in this game, and that is your mind. Your thoughts, which are, first off, so many of your beliefs have been programmed subconsciously. And you don't know the motives of those who programmed those thoughts. Your parents may have programmed certain thoughts in your mind because they thought it was the right thing, yet it came from fear. It came from a disbelief in your true power. It came because they felt more comfortable if you were to wear a mask. Your religion has programmed your mind subconsciously to keep you in that religion. And although there may be many powerful things that you've experienced there, there is also a lot of fear and control. And then your thoughts that you have day after day about not being good enough, not being worthy, believing that you have to people please, that you have to settle, that it's too big of a risk. You have one controller, and that is your mind. And you must take back control of your mind. You must reprogram your subconscious thoughts. You must make a daily effort to begin to visualize, to begin to feel, to begin to tell yourself the truth about who you really are, about what you really can create. Your mind will determine every move. It will determine your every action. It will determine your strength, and therefore it will determine your trajectory and your destiny. What is the third strategy? To remember your divine connection with Source. Everything in this universe is energy. Everything. Which means it's all connected. That is why we are so easily influenced by the collective. You must remember your power and use it to create. And the more you remember your divine connection with Source, you begin to create from higher vibrations. And creating from higher vibrations creates faster. When we create simply through action, through competition, through fear, we create a destiny that continues to perpetuate better than or worse than, a hierarchy of the human race, built off of ego. But when you create from acceptance, from love, when you choose to be your authentic self, and then use all of your giftings to add value to others, not only do you create a beautiful future for yourself, not only are you setting other people free, not only are you healing other people simply by being you, but you have the added reward of being able to create faster, getting to your desired outcome faster. Strategy number 4, relentlessly face what blocks you. You know, before this reality simulation theory came out, people were already believing that we are stuck in a cycle, a karmic cycle, and we keep coming back to learn lessons, to heal karma. Your blocks are your karma. Those you don't forgive, those you judge, those you want to control, those you are being controlled by. So relentlessly identify your blocks and what motivates them. Lovingly accept the belief that got you there. Lovingly accept the belief that got you in that karmic cycle, but then let it go. Set people free from their debts to you. Set yourself free from your debts to them. So what happens once we choose to explore and have fun? Once we choose to use our minds to visualize and think thoughts that are uplifting, positive, that believe in the potential of our own future and the future of others. when we let go of the definitions that keep people prisoner. You know, the more we say the words narcissist, racist, body shaming, the more we set those definitions so casually, the more we put our focus on that, the more it is created. Now, it is amazing to be brave and to call out the things that do not line up with what we want, but hate perpetuates more. When we choose to relate to the victim, we stay the victim. It's safer. You may have been victimized. There may be aspects of society that have been marginalized, and that may be your reality. But continuing to identify as marginalized and victimized, or coming from a place where to get your power back, you need to see another race or another sex or another definition different than yours, punished and made small, that only perpetuates a destiny that is not in the highest good of any of us. Those who have been brave enough to speak out from a place of love, they have made tremendous change. And your simulation, the life you want to create, it may not be about social justice. It may not be about environmental justice. Maybe you just want to be happy. Maybe you don't want to be anxious anymore. Maybe you don't want your childhood to determine how you react in relationships. Maybe you're tired of feeling powerless. And this video is here to tell you you are not powerless. You are divinely connected to everything that is, including the source that created the universe. In the beginning, the earth was formless and void. Darkness covered over the deep. And God said, "Let there be light." You may not resonate with any specific faith, yet I said that verse from Genesis in the Bible, the same Bible that says we are created in God's image. We are from the same source. That energy is within us to say, "Let there be light."